Hi guys, I am here joined by my dear friend Amy, who is making me crack up right now, the designer of Tibi, and I have captured her and held her hostage in my new fabulous office because I wanted to go in depth a little more about what we just talked about downstairs in the styling aspect and empowering women through fashion. One of my greatest joys of what I do and why I do this is connecting with people like you who believe in my vision and how I want to approach the world of fashion. And that's why I think we connect so much. And I think I've learned so much from you, and it's a joy to call you a friend.
Likewise.
Thank you. So can you elaborate a little bit about how women can feel and approach fashion instead of style in the rules?
Yeah, I think, tonight was a really interesting event because so many women, when we're in the dressing rooms with them, they really come out and they're very concerned about, it's just interesting how many times they ask, does this make me look fat? Does this make me look short? Does this color work on me? And I really, when we're designing clothing, when we're thinking about how we wear things, I'm never with the design team are we thinking like, let's design this so that she'll look skinny or, so that she'll look tall. It really is, where is this person wearing it? How is she going to feel when she's in it? If she's got to go to a meeting, is she going to feel really strong in the clothing? If she's got to meet her partner's parents for the first time, is she going to feel really smart when she's doing that? So, I want women to walk out of the dressing room and say, does this outfit make me look like I'm a smart person?
Yeah. And one of the coolest things that you mentioned tonight was maybe shopping with your friends, which is a habit we all have and we think we enjoy, and which can also almost be your downfall sometimes. Yeah. And why is that?
I think that, you probably find yourself doing this too. I think that people, I think if you assume positive intent, I would say that most people think that they're being helpful by pointing something out. And I guess the worst example is like someone like Ramona from Housewives of New York, when she's just like, I can't help it, I just tell the truth. And I hate that because she's not telling the truth. She is telling her extremely narrow opinion of something. And so I think that when you ask a friend their opinion, you have to know that you're asking for their opinion. You're not asking for a universal truth. There's no such thing. You are getting the opinion of someone who might have these horrible biases. What if your friend is Ramona? Can you imagine how you would dress all day? It would be horrible. So,
that's so funny. I love saying that because the intent is there for good. And then often it may be someone else's idea, approach, opinion on that one top and how it may fit them and not even you.
I know.
Exactly.
When I first started out, Tibi, I remember my mom would call and she's like, Linda Wright cannot wear these sweaters. And I was like, well, Linda was our school principal for 25 years and I was not dressing her. And but to my mom, her point of view on this and whether or not it fit my high school principal,
that was her point of view.
And that's obviously an extreme example, but your friends are not you. They're not living your life. They're not doing exactly everything that you're doing. And so you really need to think about yourself when you're trying things on, how it makes you feel.
And so many times women go in the dressing room with us and say, am I wearing this right? And what does that mean? You roll your eyes when you hear that. What does that mean?
Because I think that, for me, when I wear the clothing so much before we even put it on the runway or before we put it into the line, and we, all the time, when I'm putting it on, if it's a pant, sometimes I'll lift it up to here and I'll belt it, sometimes I'll wear it down low, sometimes I'll tie it with a rubber band at the bottom, it's a piece of clothing that's just meant to be manipulated on your own body until you get it to the place it feels right on you.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that you made that point coming out of the dressing room to say, Is this look good on me? Do I look okay? And your first question to many people is, do you feel good? And I love that because we're really shifting as women to say, where are we going? How do we want to feel when we walk in the room? And I love approaching fashion that way because it empowers us to feel great and take a risk, take a leap, and not approach things from, do I look skinny or fat? Do I look cool or right? Are my friends gonna think I look good?
Exactly.
And approaching things from, do I feel good? Do I feel empowered? Do I know who I am? And I think that's the beautiful thing about Tibi, is there's an ease to what you've created that is wearable and chic, and you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree with that.
thank you. I love having these conversations because fashion can be so intimidating to so many people. And one thing I always say is fashion doesn't have to feel like a club you're not part of. There are no rules anymore. There's no color scheme that you need to that you need to play part of. And we're not trying to hide anything.
No, and I think, but I do understand that, you know, if I put myself into other people's shoes, I know that for some reason, even though we do a men's line now, for some reason, like when I'm shopping for my husband, if I go into a store, it really, like, I get hives. I don't know where to begin to shop for men. And when that happens, I think there are women who feel like that when they go into a store. And so I just, you know, I just encourage those women to really, like, pay attention to the cues of, you know, what is it that they put on when they felt their very best, and really, like, go and find that again, and then, you know, just start somewhere and build up that kind of, you know, it is like you're building a little house, and you got to get that foundation right, and then you can build on and on with it. And I've just seen so many women transformed by dressing great. And you see other women, like, you know, and there's other women who just dress like head to toe in like every money and label, and they're no better off than the woman who hasn't found herself. You know, it really is just about finding yourself and building up from there.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
That's why I, like, always tell people, go into boutiques, go to boutiques like Hampden, like go where someone just, you know, to work with you. And when you come into the showroom, and when clothing comes out and you know which customer of yours is wearing it, or when you get goosebumps because you love it so much and your voice gets like super high pitched. Like, that's what you need. Like, you don't need to go to these black holes online, or these gigantic stores where, you know, someone's walking into a showroom and they've got a stack of paper this high with like every algorithm that's showing them that you are most likely to buy a you know, black shirt with 3 buttons and a stupid hemline that takes no risks at all. So, you know, go and like talk to people who care and love fashion, and that's how you'll, like, their love and inspiration will rub off on you. Yeah. It rubs off on you for sure.
Yeah. And that's a huge part of like why we exist is all my team is not on commission. They're all actually here to help you, and we talk a lot about how we can jump into that experience with you and take some of the fear away.
Yeah.
You know, we want to take some of the fear out of fashion and make you feel great every time you come in, so that it's like walking into your local coffee shop. You know the barista's name, and hopefully every time when you come in, you'll have that same fun experience with us. So I really believe in that, and I believe in you and everything you've created. And thank you for creating these awesome outfits. And we're going to have them up on the website so you can take a peek into Amy's world. And if you do not follow her on Instagram, you absolutely should. And we will tag her handle because it's incredible. She gives so much great, realistic fashion advice that talks about getting out of your head, getting into your body, and really being empowered to love fashion again. So thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Love you.